Here's what Dominica's own law says requires an environmental social impact assessment. Hotels over 12 rooms, any industrial plant likely to cause significant environmental impact. And right here, look at that. Quarrying and mining. It's the law. So if hotels need an ESIA, then a mine near a forest reserve and a river above a community definitely needs an ESIA. And yet, in Deux Branches, the excavation began without one. Welcome to Deux Branches, Part 3, ESIA. Let's talk about it. Let's start from the top. An ESIA, or an environmental and social impact assessment, measures how a project affects land, water, wildlife, and community. It isn't paperwork, it is the permission slip. It must be completed before any machine is on site. No ESIA, then by law, the project should not start. Because an ESIA forces developers to answer. How will the river be protected? Where does the waste go? What happens during heavy rainfall? How will the blasting affect nearby homes? And what is the long-term effect after the mining stops? These are not suggestions, these are requirements. And that is what the law says. This is straight from the Dominica Physical Planning Act. No person shall commence development without first obtaining development permission. Meaning, you cannot start work unless it has been approved. Section 23 says an ESIA is required for any project likely to significantly affect the environment. There's been deforestation, clearing of access road, a retaining wall, and river pollution. I think all these have contributed to significantly affecting the environment. Yes? No? Okay. Listen, now this is important. Dominica signed the ESIA Agreement, Latin America and the Caribbean's only environmental rights treaty. It guarantees access to environmental information, transparency, public participation before decisions are made. You must inform the public. Dominica ratified this in 2024. All right, now that we know what should happen, let's look at what did happen. August 2025, excavation begins. Heavy machinery arrives. Deforestation, no public consultation. We don't know what's going on in the village. We just see people up in the mountains grading and removing stuff. September to October, door-to-door surveys by an environmental engineer. But they're doing this while the river is being polluted. The damage already started. These consultations should have happened before. November, the first community meet. Only the environmental engineer was present. No representative from Ministry of Environment, Physical Planning, Forestry Division, and the residents were told, do not record this meeting. You are not given permission to record this meeting. It's a public consultation meeting, is it not? That alone is magic. A follow-up meeting happened the next week, and the engineer promised to bring all those stakeholders who were absent. And at that meeting, he was the only representative. So when I said in part 2 that there was no meetings, what I meant is there was no meetings before the excavation began. Meetings after the river is already polluted and the forest is gone is not consultation, that is damage control. Then we were told the ESIA is still being written. It isn't approved, and we can clearly see that the project is fully underway. This is not a testing phase, it is the project. And an ESIA cannot be done during development. Its purpose is to predict impacts, not write them down after. You can't ask a river for permission after you have polluted it. So where does that leave us right now? A project that began without an ESIA, consulted the community after the fact, has removed significant forests and is encroaching on protected lands, has polluted the largest river that has supported our only indigenous community, and continues while approvals are still in progress. In part 1, we learned Dominica once protected this valley. In part 2, we saw the damage happening now. And in part 3, we see the gap between what the law says and what is actually happening. This isn't politics, this is a process, and this is people. And this is the country that calls itself the Nature Isle. If there was ever a moment for accountability, it is now.